Okay, so it's just come out that Josh Taylor has confirmed his retirement. Of course, Josh Taylor being undisputed, undefeated world champion at 140 pounds. Of course, that's a crazy achievement. That's super lightweight, and a division that at the time when he done it wasn't super deep, but would go on to become a very deep division in the boxing world. And of course, Josh Taylor was the first British fighter to ever unify those divisions. I think he's the first British fighter to ever become undisputed, I believe. So a serious achievement there. But also felt like as soon as he fought other world level opponents, they were a step too good for him, a touch too good for Josh Taylor, which was a shame because, like I said, if he is the first Brit indeed, and I've got my facts right, and he was the first Brit to do that, it's a hell of an achievement. And I hopefully in the history books, he'll go down a bit more notorious than he's going down at the moment. I know, of course, Josh Taylor's had 3 losses in a row, back-to-back losses. Of course, the first one came in a rematch against Jack Catterall, and then loses to Teofimo Lopez. And again, you losing to both those guys, there's no shame in that, in my opinion. At that point, Jack Catterall was world level at 140, and we know Teofimo is world level at 142. We know that. And then, obviously, his retirement comes off the back of the loss to Eko Esserman, which really is the bad loss, right? Now, Eko Esserman, by no stretch of the imagination, is a bad boxer. He's no bum. He's a live body that will definitely always turn up to fight. But up until this point, he was sort of regarded to me, a guy who is... He's better than British level for sure. I'd say he's above British level. But he's European level, fringe world level. Like, he's not a bona fide world level boxer at 140 the same way Teofimo and Jack Catterall were. At all, in my opinion. Right? And Eko Esserman won that fight. He beat Josh Taylor. And for me, in my opinion, and I said this at the time, when I made a video about this at the time, post the fight between Josh Taylor and Eko Esserman, I made the title of the video something like Josh Taylor must retire immediately after that. And honestly, I do stand by that because it also comes from the nature of the loss as well, the nature of the performance of Josh Taylor. So Josh Taylor started off that fight really well. The first 5-6 rounds, he boxed really well, but he fell off in the second half of the fight. Right, his gas tank completely let him down. His feet slowed down. His hands slowed down. He was throwing way less. And Eko Esserman just took over and almost walked through the back end of that fight and walked his way to a 12-round decision. Now, a guy like Josh Taylor, who's been through the amount of wars and the amount of camps he's been through in his career, I don't fancy your gas tank to get any better the older you get. I don't fancy that at all. Of course, Josh Taylor's going to say to everyone in the media that it's because of a left eye injury. And no doubt there probably was a left eye injury, and that's a very serious injury. But no doubt, one of the reasons why he's retiring is that he went from losing to world level guys to a guy who before this was deemed as sort of European fringe world level, right? And if that's the trajectory for your career, you're sort of thinking, yeah, maybe it's time for me to call this a day or quit while I'm ahead, right? But yeah, a hell of a career for Josh Taylor. No doubt at some point I might even do more breakdowns of Josh Taylor fights because he was a very entertaining boxer to watch, in my opinion, and forced 2 very competitive fights out of Jack Catterall, which no doubt is the best win of Jack Catterall's career as well. Teofimo Lopez as well was a win that put Teofimo on the map. Absolutely put Teofimo on the map that win did. One of, a number of wins that put Teofimo on the lap, no doubt, but that's a big one, right? Beating a guy who at that point was a former undisputed world champion, yeah, that's putting you on the map. And then of course Eko Esserman, hopefully Eko can then go on to hopefully build more of a career, and he's no spring chicken. I think he's got a couple of losses on his career. On his record, I think. But, use that win against Josh Taylor and, sort of leapfrog yourself into an even better position with another big name and, never get a big payday, maybe get another upset sort of thing. But yeah, I'd be curious to know what you guys think of Josh Taylor. What are your memories from his careers? Unfortunately, most of my memories of Josh Taylor are the losses, which is a shame to say, but that's just being honest. Those are a lot of my memories for Josh Taylor. But I'd be curious to know other guys' perspectives on Josh Taylor and where do you think he goes down in the history books? Undisputed at 140, like I keep saying it, but that's such an achievement. It's such an achievement, and he's Scottish, but a British guy to do that as well. it's very impressive in my opinion. But yeah, be curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.